You said something after the DC game that I wanted to ask you about. Um, if I have the quote correct, you said we understand what teams are expecting against us and how they're going to play against us, and that's something for us to be tuned in and dialed into from the very get-go.
Yeah, just in terms of the standards that we've set,
Yeah.
this short term, like the success we've had over the last 12 months, we've kind of, set the standard of what a team looks like and, the quality that comes with it, and then ultimately winning, some silverware. So, starting in preseason, this is teams, we're a target, right? We did a lot of things that teams looked up to us and respected us for, but also weren't happy about. So, we come into a new season and all of that now starts again from zero and the points tallies at zero. But yeah, we have some history over the last 12 months. So that's what I would say about that, Jonathan.
Do you worry about predictability at all? And if so, how do you counteract
In which way?
it? Stylistically, I suppose if teams say, well, we know how they're going to play and
No,
this is what
I
we
think we've proven over multiple times now during the season, and now even, I mean, we're a game in, right, and coming out of a preseason. So, I can't say that there's any current trends right now. I think there'll have to be a couple games, 5, 6 weeks to go by to establish those trends. But I don't. It might not. I don't know. I don't have a silver ball.
thanks.
Joe Tansey.
Hey Bradley. All of the matchups last year with NYC were pretty tight, low scoring. Um, is there anything you can kind of t apply from those meetings and how an early season matchup with them again might fare?
Yeah, small details, define games. And I think in the tightest of margins, in the tightest of games, when the quality, when there's quality opposition out there on both teams, then I think those margins will be crucial, right? I think it's normal in any game where two good teams go at each other. I mean, yeah, we have a nice couple of goes at New York City. We win the Shield off of them, meaning that the game here in Chester towards down the stretch of the season, and then we host them in the playoffs, and they have a really tight game and a good game, and got away with with a couple of Matt Freeze highlight reel shows. So that's what I remember. But again, it's a new season. It's a new team. They've had challenges. We've had challenges. And yeah, we stack it up very early in the season and go against each other in a really nice competitive match. And yeah, I'm excited about the matchup. It's a good team and it's a nice test for us.
And you finally officially announced the new signing this morning. In terms of availability, not only for him but for the rest of the team in terms of injuries, where does that stand going on Sunday?
Yeah, I think the injury front's looking better, I would say. We've got Jovan crucial minutes last night, 45 minutes, just to see how he feels. He's feeling better. Yeah, and we'll continue to try and work around the clock to get him right. And yeah, we've seen guys come through today's training and hopefully join us tomorrow. Ben Bender gets a couple minutes last night, so recovered there. Finn Sundstrom's trending right in the right direction, and Augustine Anello, Frankie Westfield, those guys are all trending in the right direction as well. So which is great because a complete roster is a competitive roster, and that's what we're excited about. With regards to Philippe, I would say a couple of days still before we can welcome him here to Philly. Still a couple of things to iron out, and a couple of appointments to be had in Sweden. So yeah, I don't want to put the days on it, but probably another week and a half, probably.
Jillian.
Thanks, Nico. Hi, Bradley.
Hey, Jillian.
For guys like Milan, Bruno, Indy, and others to get that rest last night with the schedule congestion, just how big is that for those players moving into not only this weekend, but the next round where there'll be more congestion?
Yeah, it's only as good as we want it to be, right? I mean, we have to apply it in the right way, and just because you rested, it doesn't mean that it's only an ingredient for success. It doesn't mean that the success is there, right? So we have to work really hard at it, and we have to make it count. And but it was just great seeing everyone who hadn't been getting the minutes to get one, up and running with the team, and two, just to be competing again against a different opponent other than us in training and what have you. So to change the roster up, to play the way we did, to score the goals the way we did, I thought it was an awesome exercise. And credit to Defense Force. They never gave up. And I always say, you're playing against an opponent, but we challenge us to be us every single day, and we wanted it to look like us. And I think from the first minute to the 90th, it looked like us, and it was dominant and relentless. So I was happy with the performance.
And then with the news of Marcus Anderson being loaned to Brooklyn FC today, can you talk about what you've seen from him and the thoughts of him going on loan?
Yeah, listen, I think it's healthy, right? I think when you go into different environments, I think you have to adapt. And he's finding a coach who knows him well, who plays in a similar style, which it's just across the way, not too far away. So and I think these are intentional, and by no means does a loan mean failure. It means time to grow, time to learn, and time to adapt, right? So we've seen the same with Neil Peart, and he's doing great over there. So we're just excited to see his progress over time. And if you're not getting any of the minutes here, and and this is the challenge that I've posed to Marcus as well over time, to show consistency. And I hope at Brooklyn he can show that level of consistency that we're looking for. He has the tools for sure in our philosophy. And now it's up to him to push and us to support him and make sure that we supporting Marlon as well, just to make sure we're getting the best out of Marcus.
All right, final questions go to Jonathan Tannenwald.
Thanks, Nico. It's another one about Philippe and Dinga, and I apologize, Brad, that my internet.
That's all right.
For a second there while you were answering Joe. I think I heard you say that there's another week and a half or so to go paperwork-wise before he might be.
Yeah, I mean, there's still things to iron out. Naturally, when you're dealing with visas and applications and timelines from embassies and governments and what have you. So yeah, that's
sure.
Yeah.
He won't have played a game, I think, since November when he gets here, an official game. Fitness-wise, where do you think he'll be, and how much of a ramp up do you think?
Yeah, listen, I mean, we'll put that in the hands of Ryan Cotter to do the baseline testing. Since we've made that official now, there's obviously been contact with Ryan and the player and making sure that getting him up to speed. And, we think he's a pro, excited about his new team, and, being able to be active in part of, a preseason before discussions. I'm sure he was training with his team before in a preseason. So, I don't really think that should be an issue, So if he now joins in 10 days time, and then it takes, a week or two to get running up and ready, I mean, yeah, it's possible to start, hit the ground running. We've seen it with players who've left into other leagues and, not been match ready and play already, the upcoming games. So it is possible, just depending on the individual and depending how fit they are coming in.
Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Bradley. Thanks, everyone.